What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, RedoptionAgency.com. 23 years selling full-time on eBay. As of the 27th of this month, I believe it is, 27th. I'm going to give you a warning today. My mind is a little off today. I'm having one of those reverse number days where, like, my thinking, on those days where I'm getting, like, things reversed, numbers, like, my thinking's never. So I may say stuff that may not make sense or may not be the truth, and I'm thinking it is, and so bear with me. All right, today's starting off slow. We are at 1:34, so a half hour into till my midday. As of right now, I'm at $256. So that's going to be about a $520 day. So that would be a boo after this weekend. Like one Monday last month, I had a $1,200 Monday. So what does Mondays in the past 30 days look like? Last week was 706. Then 661. 519. That's looking like what it's going to end up today. And 704. So it'd be nice to hit the 7 today. We'll see. I'm listing, so hopefully that will trigger some bulk buying, and that'll get my numbers up. So what did I end with yesterday? Not much more after that video I made. So $745 yesterday after me and Jan made the video last night. So 700 and, whoops, clicked the wrong thing. And 58 items sold, 48 promoted, and only 10 organic. So another low organic day. The day before was only 4 organic. Today, thus far, 18 sold, 14 promoted, 4 organic. So the organics are being suppressed for some reason. I know there's a lot of people complaining about promotions not working properly, so I haven't looked farther into that. But it is another day where I'm getting glitches and stuff, like my drafts will vanish, and I have to refresh a couple of times to get them to reappear. So the glitches started about 7 p.m. Saturday night, then yesterday, and now into today. So back into Glitch City. Let's do some questions and comments, and then I'm going to do a midday shipping video to get, since Adrian worked hard this past weekend shipping for me, he won't have as much to do this evening if I get on it now. So first up, wow, 52% selling cost, not including cost of goods, supplies, and other expenses. Interesting to see. Thanks for being transparent. Yeah, last month was 52. Most of the month was free shipping. So that's another reason why I decided to get rid of that free shipping again and start this new thing, because I definitely want to keep that number under 50. Cost of goods, as you know, been buying lately, so let's just say 90% of my items are no costs. And people still saying, well, you pay on a storage locker, that's technically cost of goods. Well, technically, every business has or should have a square footage bill, overhead, if you will. If you have a building, a warehouse, whatever, that's square footage overhead. So that storage locker is square footage overhead. Now, is it better if it's your own and you're paying yourself? Why, yes. If you have a storage locker on your property and you got stuff stored in it, pay yourself a monthly fee for storing those items. Talk to your tax person first, but charging yourself for and talk to the tax person, because sometimes if it's on your property, it could have tax implications when you go to sell the house. So definitely, depending on your area, check with your tax man. But even if you're in your own house, you can charge yourself a square footage fee. then that's taken off the bottom line, but it goes into your pocket. So that when people talk about people not paying taxes and stuff, those are little things to get around not paying taxes, because you're not paying taxes on that money. It's going into your pocket, being written off as square footage that you're renting from yourself, basically. So always talk to your tax people to find out all those little tips and tricks. Now, I'd prefer to own the storage unit that I'm paying, so then I'm paying myself, but unfortunately, I am not right now. So, but yeah, that's why we're changing. I think we're looking pretty good this month so far, because I think it was at 56 last night, if I remember correctly. I didn't really pay too close attention to it, because at the first of the month, I don't pay attention to it because it includes the monthly eBay bill, and that will thin out over the course of 30 days. So that's why I don't pay too close attention to it. So 56, which is pretty good, because normally I'm in the 60s at the beginning of the month. So it's good to see it so low. That being said, it looks like if it's 56 now, it's usually at 65 or so. I think I'm going to be under 50% this month. So yes, always transparent about everything. So you see all the changes I try and things I do and how it works out and things like that. So never be afraid to take chances and try new things and different than. I mean, that's how you grow your business. That's how you could find something that you didn't know was there, and then boom, all of a sudden it's like a game changer. You can a list faster situation, a source better situation, a file better situation, a percentage base per. Never be scared to try new things and such. So I am not scared to do it, especially now in the position I'm in. And especially now with the headspace I'm in, I am all game on just thinking the way I was thinking in, say, 2010, without the pressure, without the stress. So the free mind. So what can I do? What can I try? And of course, share it all with you guys in hopes to help you guys out. What was it? It was something I was... watching the Olympics this weekend, right? There was a commercial for the Olympics, and it was like, am I a bad guy or something like that? Basically implying that, in sports, there's such a competition, and you're just out basically for yourself. You're cutthroat. You're doing it's basically a business thing. You're taking care of business. You're pounding yourself. If I have to beat you to win, then I'm going to beat you to win type of, that whole mentality. And as I'm watching that, I'm thinking, man, business is like that too. But what other business other than reselling is like that? But then I just started going into the reselling thought process of the videos that everybody puts out, and how it's not really that cutthroat of a business for the overall part. I mean, if I'm battling you for a lot of something that I want to sell, I'm going to make sure I battle you to get it, obviously. But when it comes to sharing information, there's enough for everybody out there. Like I've always said, America is like probably the biggest country in the world with the most secondhand, wasteful spending type of stuff that's out there. And it's probably the best market to be a reseller in. So hopefully with more red tape coming down our way eventually, probably with the government crap, how they always put red tape on everything. Hopefully it don't make it harder in the future, but gotta keep your eye open for everything. That's one reason why I'm glad I'm still heavy into media, because even if companies like clothing companies and stuff get into all that kind of where you got to have receipts or whatever. I think the First Doctrine Act covers a lot of that stuff, though. But media is just, it's always has been never even a questioned reselling way of doing things. Like there's never really any. There was one repercussion on somebody, but they ended up winning. There was, when it comes to the promos, do not sell this item. One of the, I think it was Universal maybe, record labels tried to sue somebody who was selling on eBay, and they had all promos. Promos is basically free items that the record company gives out, and they're always stated on there, on some of the older ones, I don't know about the newer ones, must be returned when asked or something of that nature. And when this was in court, one of the questions the judge asked the record label goes, over all the years of you making promo items, how many of the items have you asked for back? And the answer was 0. The record companies never asked for any of these promos back. So in turn, they didn't have a leg to stand on to say somebody could not sell these items. And the person who fought it ended up winning. And that's why you should never worry about selling a promo item when it comes to media items. There's nothing they can do. So don't be scared by the print on the item. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up there. Talking. That's amazing, James. 224 items over the weekend. My eBay weekend sales were terrible. Sold two CDs with 9,000 plus listings. Dude, what? What is your store? That's just, man, it's hard for me to believe. Like, what else? There's got to be something else going on there. I know eBay is a problem, but 2 sold with 9,000? Man, that's just crazy. Our store, I haven't listed in a week or so, back problems, but I got a sale with 90-ish listings. I think eBay shuts down servers for maintenance and sellers in that area get screwed. Yeah, and that's what I had commented back on somebody this weekend. eBay tells you when they do server maintenance that you could lose sales. They just don't tell you anymore. They used to tell you via email, we're shutting down for maintenance. It could affect your sales, et cetera, et cetera. Now they just do it almost nightly and they don't announce it or anything. So when I say my items I've been shut down for the night, that's what I'm saying. They did maintenance and it seems to always affect my store, account, server, whatever you want to call it. It seems to, and that could be because, as we say, it's an older account. And a lot of people have responded over this year, I guess, with knowledge about servers and older servers and how chances are it's not going to get any better because they can't really transfer the way I read it was don't expect it to get better. So, but like I said, I don't know though, but I hope that's not the case. But as I put clothes into my new store, if I eventually have to start putting hats over there, and to start a slow process of making that my main store since it seems to get better results. This is the first time seeing your wife. She's lovely. And headstrong. That's what I like. I like confident, headstrong people. Like I can't deal with somebody who was like growing up and dating girls. When there was a girl that was just very clingy or I feel safe around you type of thing, I'm just like, red flag, red flag, red flag. Those are the ones that you're going to end up taking care of who can't think for their own, or at least at that moment in life. Things may change when they mature or whatever, but I was always more attracted to the headstrong, peak girls who were just knew where they were going, or at least where they thought they were going, and just was gung-ho and had a head on their shoulders. So yeah. When you do the buy two, get two, how do you handle shipping? You still collect all the money for shipping. My shipping's set up where it's just one shipping price no matter how many items you buy when it comes to media. So it's $4.99 if you buy one. It's $4.99 if you buy 5. I do that to help the rising cost of shipping. As shipping keeps going up twice every year, you're either going to lose some of the low end stuff, or you got to find a way around it. Well, my way around it is charging one price for no matter how many items you buy. And that's going to be probably, at least for now, in my thought process, that's going to be, at least for media, the best way around beating the cost of low good items. If you want a low good item and the shipping's more than the item, buy 2, buy 3, balance it out. So, but you're always going to have your impulse buyers who say, "Oop, I got to have that," and they ain't going to care about paying the shipping because they understand shipping's usually a cost no matter. There's more people who don't understand free shipping is not free than there are people who know shipping costs something. So they'll pay it if they want it. These are personal. He should return to owners if possible. So I had to respond to that. This was a video of a bunch of old pictures I found at the bins that I put up in my store. So you should return these to owners if possible. And I go, when you find out who they are, let me know. With a smiley face. Not to be vicious, just to be, do you see what you're saying here? You find if you find old photos at somewhere like a Goodwill bins, chances are the family put them there because the so-and-so died and they're just donated their stuff. Now, if somebody contacted me on eBay and said, "Hey, this is my grandma, blah, blah, blah," I would send it to them no charge. So don't go trying that to try to get free stuff, though, because I will do the legwork to find out. Thanks for the shout out, Marcus Dixon Pickens. Thank you. All right, let's get to shipping some of this stuff. Get it out of here. Out of here. I see a few items have sold since I started the video. And I think I got everything. So we got 26 orders with some multiples. Let's see, we got a UK. We got a Germany. We got an Australia. And that's the international. We'll remove those, save those for later. All right, first up, we've got this Winnie the Pooh bag. Nice vintage denim style Pooh bag. Sold for $16, headed to Compton, California. Compton. This bag's going to Ice Cube's house. Ice Cube wants a Winnie the Pooh bag. Straight out of Compton. I know, there's no way he lives in Compton now. I hear Compton's they've redone it though. It's like a better, like a more safer area now. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's just kind of what you hear now. 1-1. But all places go through that. Or, well, let's not all. Most places go through that. Gabby. Like when I lived in the city, you could tell like there's like a shift from north to south. Like people, and when I say shift, I mean people who have no respect for the house they live in. They don't keep upkeep. It just wears down, tears out, ends up vacant, and ends up torn down, end up an empty lot. And it's almost like a disease, you see, and it went from like North St. Louis to South St. Louis. And it's not about black and white, it's both. Like we said, like my new saying is, there's no black and white. We're all one color, just different shades. So it's just people who don't respect, you know, pretty much anything. If you think about it, they don't respect anything. So they just don't care, let stuff fall apart, don't put no time or effort into anything. Whether that's a tenant and or a landlord. Either way. Goes both ways. I got this Columbia hat. Headed to Lincoln, California. Sold for $10.50. But then you'll see somebody come back through one of the bad areas and try to revive it. But I've seen revived areas like after a few years be totally trashed. So there should be some way to track if a person's going to tear up your, if you're, you know, renting out and stuff. If a person just has no respect for the property they're living on or whatever. X-Mark hat sold for $8, headed to Georgia. I'm watching for that around here because it seems like a lot more people are moving in. So I'm keeping an eye on that because, you know, it'll bring down value of other houses. So this property's doubled in value since we moved in. I don't want to lose that. So if I start to see like a huge downturn, I'll be like, Jan, I think we need to sell while we can and find a new area. Because who wants to lose, you know, $250,000 because neighbors don't know how to treat their property. So I'm keeping a close eye on that stuff. Next up, we've got Living Color. Great album, great band. Headed to New Hampshire, sold for $4. I was keeping an eye on that kind of stuff because I've seen it all. I've lived in trashy apartments, so I know it all. And the reason we didn't fix up the apartment we lived in is because the landlord wouldn't reimburse us to do it. So he wasn't putting in the money. So you know what? We're not putting in the money. And that's how the stuff, if you're renting, that's how it starts going. Even if you do kind of care and want to do something. Not saying we didn't do stuff. There's been plenty of times where my dad would patch the ceiling, but every time it rained, it would still have new rain come in because the problem is on the outside in the bricks, you know, or the porch overhang or whatever. And that's going to cost a little bit more to fix. So it's not always about not caring. The tenant not caring. Sometimes it's about the owners not caring, the landlords. So next up, Safari's Wipeouts and Surfer Joe vinyl. Sold for $10, headed to Hathaway, Massachusetts. This was another one that was in that yard sale video. Or maybe not. Because some of the stuff that Jan got at the bins got mixed in also. So this could have been from the bins also. $10, headed to Massachusetts. I got my lot of 45s that I bought off of eBay. Maybe I'll make a video for them. Michelle. When the frost is on the pumpkins, the leaves dance and fall till autumn changes partners when winter comes to call. Nice little autumn t-shirt. Sold for $9.50, headed to New Haven, Missouri. New Haven, Missouri. I might do these on Monday. Because I had a headache this morning, so I laid back down after feeding the puppies. And I didn't get up till 9:30. So I just wanted to run the stuff to the post office and get that done and out of the way. And I go, I'll just do a 2 o'clock shipping. Get it done then. And then I'll also help Adrian out a little for the evening. So Beverly. Next up, we've got this Little Big Heads, the Werewolf, Universal Monsters. This is one of the items that's been hanging right here forever. And these are the type of items when I used to work in retail that I would go and buy clearance items. I've said that plenty of times. So this is like an old Spencer's. I believe that's Spencer's. Clearance tag. Yeah, it's Spencer's. Old Spencer's clearance tag. So I'd go into Spencer's and places and look for cool clearance items. So I've got 97 cents, paid 97 cents for that way back when. And it's been hanging here ever since I finally took them down a month or so ago. Sold for $10, headed to Seattle, Washington. Will you fit in the shoe box? Let's see, or hat box? Let's see. Yes. Kinda. There we go. Alrighty. 7, 8, 5, 6, 5, 4. Jeffrey. This one's already kind of bulged out. I like the thin writing today. In the thin writing mode today. Next up, we've got Corn. See you on the other side. This was one of them that came in the metal lot I bought off eBay. And this one sold for $25, headed to Tucker, Georgia. So I got less than $1 into that. I've been trying to only buy media that I've got under $1 into off of eBay. So if I say it's part of an eBay collection that I just bought, I think about 75 cents or so is into it. So IR. There we go, nice and thin writing. Next up, Truman Bulldogs baseball cap. Sold for $5, headed to Hudson, New York. Hudson and New York. New York, New York. I don't know if you guys do this, but like I use bigger stores to motivate myself to list. So I'm like, I want to catch up with that store. Even if I can't, because maybe they got employees, it's just about the competition to me. And if I get that going, then that motivates me to go, go, go. So right now I'm using, if you know Tom, who's dating Mel from Back from Burnout, his Australia store. Like I'm like using his store to like catch up, and I know he's got employees. I don't know how many, so I'll never catch. He's got like 130,000 or whatever, but I'm using him as his store as motivation to catch him, type of thing. Sam, when it comes to the media part, anyway. I keep waiting for them to put the report back on my account so I can see if I'm back to #1 on pre-owned hats, because I was #1 for a while and then I got bumped down by somebody. All right, next up, are you ready for a DVD lot? Yeah, buy two, get two. We got How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days with some hair on it. It was on the bottom shelf. We got Dawsons Creek 5th season. We've got Family Man. And Don Juan DeMarco. So $4 a piece, buy two, get two free. Let's put you in here. Let's see. Got a little extra piece with the box set. Okay. 1/8. G. Boink. Next up, Donnie Darko DVD. Sold for $5, headed to Omaha, Nebraska. Six by 9x1. Scratch itchy. Jamie. Jamie's crying. Alrighty, we got a St. Louis Athletica soccer shirt. Sold for $9, headed to Collinsville, Illinois. Boom, boom, boom. For those, I've had 4 people ask so far. Yes, I'm still doing the trading cards. I will have another one next month. I decided to take a month off since the last one didn't sell as much as the prior one. So I'm like, and it could just been because it was more specific, because it was bins related. Get in and design the next one here soon. Next up, we got Courtney. That needs resurfaced. We got Overkill from the Underground and Below. Came from the metal lot on eBay. Sold for $18, headed to Salem, Ohio. I got lucky with that metal lot. There was a lot, pretty good amount of high dollar items in it. High dollar for media, that is. Next up, we've got Double Jeopardy DVD. Sold for $4, headed to Cincinnati, Ohio. Kimberly. LA Symphony, Disappear. CD. I think this was, I'm not sure what this was from. I got about 4 left. There's no sticker on it, so I'm not sure where it came from. Sold for $8, headed to Indiana. Could have been part of, I'm thinking it was part of the, when I was doing the shoe clearance buyout and the clothing for $1 a piece. Sometimes there was some media they had. So, I think that's where that's from, but I'm not 100% sure. USS Lexington, Blue Ghost. Hat sold for $10.50, headed to Astor, Florida. Scotch. We'll start a new stack. Next up, we've got Madonna, Ray of Light single. Sold for $4.24. Headed to Linwood, Washington. Linwood, Washington. Ina. Cedric Winnie. CD sold for $9, headed out to Imperial, Missouri. Lived out there for about a year. There's a bowling alley out there right off of Highway 55, if you know the area. And I was dating one of the owner's daughter, basically. One of the daughters, Christine. James. So I lived out there with them for about a year or so. Next up, are you ready for a CD line? Yeah. We got the Doors. That was $5. We got Mamas and the Papas. That one's $4. We got Sound of Music. That was $4. And Virgin Suicide soundtrack. That was $10. Buy 2, get 2. So it's the 10 plus the 5, so $15 for all 4. Plus shipping, of course. Plus the shipping. 014 12 3 Skyler. Next up, Tommy Rowe, Sheila, and Save Your Kisses 45, sold for $4, headed to Torrance, California. I gotta make sure I got enough of these since I've got that lot of 500. It just came in. Next up, some of Jan's Christmas ornaments, some musical instruments. So these sold for $10.50, headed to South Carolina. Grab more hats. South Carolina. Grab it. Grab it. Grab it. Grab it. South Carolina. Clara. Next up, we got Taco Bell hat. Sold for $10.50, headed to South Lebanon, Ohio. That's what, third Ohio? Had, what, 3 Californias, 3 Ohios? If I remember correctly. Harrison. I wonder what makes my days when I have those weird days. Like normally if I mix up numbers and stuff, like it just happens. It seems like it just happens. But like there are some days where I notice like just when it happens, my mind just doesn't feel right. Because it feels like I just can't think properly. I don't know. Is that part of a dyslexia or something? I'm not sure. Never got checked out or something, so I don't know. Bobby Brown CD sold for $4, headed to Jacksonville, Florida. Like I don't know what's different about today than say yesterday. Like I'm not hungry. I had enough sleep. I'm not wore down. So I don't know. Those days just stand out for some reason. Blondie. Alright, that's all the US stuff. Review purchases. Confirm and pay. Spinning wheel of death. Don't fall, burn. I still miss that guy. I will say after this weekend, though, Peewee seems to be more attached to me than he has been in the past. It seems like he's getting, more and more comfortable, like this is going to be his home type of thing. I was worried about, like, if dogs miss, like, spend a year and a half of his life from birth with these people and those dogs, and to have that ripped away, But he seems like he's a lot more, like I said, attached this weekend than ever. Like he's always been there and been attached, but like this weekend he seemed to be a lot more playful and just a lot more into, playing with me and with the balls and stuff. So it's kind of cool. I don't have no totes down here. He even tried to get Courtney to play this weekend. There, I'm not Clark. Here's Clark. Okay. Oh, Skyler. China. Scotch. Kimberly. Jared. Surfaced. Chad. Jared. Today I'm working on more of the R&B stuff I've got from a lot on eBay. There's a good amount of decent dollar stuff in there too, so. Kind of snagged a couple of good lots. So I'm hoping this 45 lot's gonna turn out the same. This is the one that I said I hope I'm not getting burned on. So I paid $300 for 500 45s. So a little over 50 cents a piece. But it says there it has not been cherry picked and was from a person's collection. And the few that I saw in the pictures were decent dollar ones. So I just hope that they just didn't show the good stuff and just buried the crap stuff. So I'm hoping I don't get burned on it. Figured it was worth. Those are some of the better sayings when you're buying media. Not cherry picked and from someone's collection. But then people will put from someone's collection on the ones where you can tell it's just the low dollar crap stuff and that's all that it is. Like it'll have no Led Zeppelin in it or, no AC/DC or whatever. And it'll just be all like Hootie and the Blowfish, Paula Abdul, all the penny junk stuff. But I mean, I'm getting $3.99 out of that stuff now. Buy two, get two. But it ain't worth putting 50 cents into. Just not worth that. All right. That is all for me today. Well, at least for now, anyway. Let's see where I'm at. So we're at $222. I'm at $323. So not too bad. I could still make the 5x5, so that's good. It's not too bad. Just hopefully we'll get to 700 a day. Not bad. Not bad at all. As long as it don't shut off on me tonight, like it has the last 2 days, where at a certain time I just have a couple of hours of nothingness. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you all in the next video. Later.